Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're enjoying all the content that you've seen already so far today. My name is John Mignardi. Before I get into my presentation, I'd like to ask or pose a question. Life has changed in the past eight or 9 months, and one of the emerging trends that has accelerated is e-commerce and buying products online. Everybody's doing it. I don't know anyone who has not done that. Amazon is a $1.5 trillion company. And so the question I have for you is, how much would your business worth if you were able to leverage some of the e-commerce and online technologies that are available today? So my presentation is going to be regarding DriveWorks and CPQ, or Configure Price Quote. It is a technology that enables customers to design infinite types of products and instantly create content to be able to manufacture. So, as I said, my name is John Mignardi. I've been with Javelin for over 20 years, actually 20 years and 4 days. And my focus 100% of the time is to work with automation and CPQ and CAD automation. I've worked with a lot of companies over the years, and one of which is going to be presenting today. The platform that we use is called DriveWorks. It's a SOLIDWORKS Gold partner, and part of their software is in every license of SOLIDWORKS. And one of the presentations that I'm going to show today is the higher level of implementation that's available using the technology. So we've got a dedicated team that is focused on DriveWorks and CPQ and automation. A lot of experience, 4.5 full-time guys, and for several of our customers, 8 of our customers, we are actually their DriveWorks service provider. So we are not only selling the software, but we're actually using it every day to help our customers become successful. So this is just a real quick movie that I put together that shows an application that it's web-based. You don't have to go web-based, but if you wanted to, you could. I'm going to show a little bit about the interface and some of the things that you can do, such as showing details of a quote or not showing. These websites can be built any way you want. In this case, I'm going to adjust the size of the cabinet, and you'll see anytime I change value, whether it's by data input, pull down list, or entering a value, the physical size of that product is going to change. Now, one thing about that is it's going to change based on rules. So if you go beyond a certain size, you may have to thicken some of the materials or add bracing. And one of the things you'll also know or also see is that as these changes are made, the pricing and the other details associated with that product will change. This happens because this platform, DriveWorks, can be connected to external databases. So whether it's an ERP system or CRM, you're able to automatically update information about this product. And the other neat thing, as you're seeing now, is that you can get the graphical updates. So your customers can see what this product is going to look like and make purchase decisions based on what it looks like. Do I like a certain material or a certain door style? And as I make those changes, because I'm getting that feedback, I can make certain decisions about whether I want this product or not. Is it going to go with the furniture in my room, and those types of decisions. So one of the key things about the DriveWorks as a platform is that you can generate outputs automatically in real time. This is all happening in real time. It's not accelerated. This is how fast the system works. So you've got a cover letter, you've got a quotation, you can produce a bill of materials and cut lists, all in a highly automated fashion, so that you're ready to manufacture this product once somebody places an order. The other unique thing about this application is because it's based on DriveWorks is, and this is for demo purposes, so I'm entering my information. And if you wanted to, you can go to this website and you can go through the specification process, see how the system works. But one of the key things about this platform, the DriveWorks platform, is that it will allow you to automate the creation of drawings and other SOLIDWORKS content so that you can build as many configurations of a product as you want, and you don't have to worry about creating every single configuration of it within your system. using SolidWorks. You can let DriveWorks create all the content automatically when you need it. In this example, you'll see once all these new parts have been created, the graphics will be displayed. They'll run across your screen, and you'll see that once I've configured this product, I have the ability to generate all these outputs, which includes renderings or drawings, bills of materials, quotes, anything and everything that you would need to put this product into production. So in this case, it's online. So if you had dealers all across North America or the world, you'd be able to have them access your website and start specifying or configuring your products and provide their customers with things like quotes or sales drawings or those types of content to help accelerate the sale. So as I mentioned, one of the companies that we've been working with is Maglin Site Furniture. I've been working with Aaron Dawson since March 2015. The one thing that I remembered about the dealing or working with Aaron is that we had shown him a presentation probably about maybe the year before, and I went to his office and I apologized for not showing him a conveyor configurator, because that one would be more in line with what he was hoping to do. And once we were able to show it, things took off from there. So let me introduce Aaron Dawson, and he can explain how things have progressed, how his business has changed using DriveWorks. Aaron?
Thanks, John. Do you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Good. Well, as John mentioned, Aaron Dawson. I'm the Director of Manufacturing at Maglin. Yeah, so I've been asked today by Javelin and John to talk a little bit about what we've done with DriveWorks over the past few years. I didn't realize it was since 2015, but time flies. Just to give you a little bit of background myself, I'm an engineer as well. I've been working at Maglin for about 7 years now, and I have probably close to 20 years now of manufacturing experience. Our company Maglin is a producer of site furniture. So if you see the slide, that's our building right there. For anybody that's familiar with southwestern Ontario, we're in Woodstock, right off the 401. We're just north of the highway where it connects with the 403. So that furniture that you see out front with the umbrellas, that's the typical product that we would produce here. Our company's been in business for 35 years now, and the ownership actually comes from Woodstock originally, and Ian McCaskill is the founder of the company, and he works with us every day. So he's in the office today as well. Our location here is a large warehousing manufacturing facility. We moved into this location about a year ago. We have about 100,000 square feet and about 5,000 square feet of office space. We have manufacturing here, production staff, purchasing, shipping, logistics. We have our sales and marketing team, which are presently working at home, but they're normally in the office as well. And here I oversee all the manufacturing and design engineering for our products. We do mainly standard products, but we also do custom projects as well, which I'll explain a bit more later. So when I started about 6 or 7 years ago, this bench and this trash receptacle would be pretty much the typical thing that you'd see shipping out of here every day. Anybody from around North America has probably seen these in their city. We sell thousands of these. It's kind of a bread and butter staple product for Maglin. But over the years, we've really developed and things have changed quite a bit. So just to give you a little bit more insight into our company, we serve the North American market, and right now our sales are split basically almost evenly between the US and Canada. We have sales reps throughout the provinces in Canada, and then we have several sales reps that are positioned throughout the US. In the industry, we're known as the high quality outdoor manufacturer of furniture. We have a 5-year warranty. And the thing that I'm most proud of is our lead time. We actually win a lot of projects over because we're able to ship in less than 8 weeks, usually 6 to 8 weeks for most of our products. And a lot of our customers that we're competing with, I'm told that they're in like the 12-week plus range. Because we have lots of different components and variations of our product, everything is built to order, and that's key for us. So we don't carry any finished goods. We get an order, and in a lot of cases, we actually produce it from scratch in 6 to 8 weeks. So in the early years, when Maglin first started, we were a company that was basically dealing with a lot of smaller municipalities, like small cities, some landscapers and contractors, mainly in Ontario. But as we developed, we quickly realized that we needed to work with landscape architects. The reason being, architects were working on these fabulous projects, like the one you see right here. And then when we got involved with them from the beginning, we would get our furniture specified into these jobs. And being specified into a project is very important, obviously, and it turns into a sale once the client and architect work out, all the parameters for the site construction. So over time, the landscape architects became the focus of our whole marketing and sales team. The challenge was, landscape architects are very creative, and they don't necessarily always want the standard 6-foot benches and trash receptacles. So we did spend a lot of time developing new product, year after year. And obviously at trade shows, you need to have something new. But we did get a lot of customer requests from the architects as well. In a lot of cases, we were hesitant to take them on because it's hard to determine how much time you have to invest in terms of your engineering and design resources, and how much time it takes to actually produce the job. So if you don't have a decent margin and the project takes 20 weeks to produce, like, is it worthwhile when you can produce standard equipment in 6 weeks? So when I talk about John and our connection with Javelin and SolidWorks, obviously Javelin's been a big supplier of ours for CAD software for a number of years. So when I go to our story about DriveWorks, I always go back to what I call the Ogden story. And John mentioned it a little bit before before my presentation as well. So obviously the 6-foot bench doesn't fit every site requirement. So there's this one project that came up in the photograph here. It was an architect that we worked with in Chicago, and they were building or redeveloping an area on Ogden Avenue in Chicago. So we actually worked with the architect, and we developed this custom bench, and it was really interesting. It was a little bit of a challenge in terms of the length and breaking it down for shipping and installing it on site, but overall everything turned out well. And with this photograph, the sales and marketing team got a hold of this, and obviously the salespeople, they've shown this to quite a few architects, throughout North America. As a result, we got quite a few requests on this bench or a variation of it. And over the period of 3 or 4 years, we actually built quite a few variations of this one bench. So we decided, let's try something different and see if we can come up with a standard product that would kind of mimic the parameters of this bench and what we thought everybody was looking for. So the concept of the bench was as follows. We came up with basically 8 different radius ranges. You can see the seat sections at the top, but the radiuses that we could accommodate were anywhere from 10-inch inside radius up to 1,300-inch inside radius, or almost straight. And then we also offered a couple straight sections as well. The sections were approximately 5 feet in length, and they would connect end to end. And so you could have a standalone bench with supports, like you can see, like the pedestal leg or the square legs, or you can mount them on walls, or you could mount them off walls with a cantilever mount. And then we had accessories like arms and skate deterrents as well. So basically with this system, we could do a layout of almost any arrangement and any continuous bench for, as long as you would want to, have a bench. The challenge that we ran into was once we offered this product and we started working with the architects and getting specified on certain projects, you can see with all the different variations, we had a real challenge trying to finalize, what the sale was for the products. So typically what would happen is the sales team would put in a request with our designers for a layout, and typically it would take a couple of weeks, to schedule it in, and then we'd produce a layout for them, within basically 2 weeks. Now, as we got busier and busier with with this product, because it was very popular, the turnaround time became longer and longer. So when we talk about new challenges, obviously doing approval drawings for this product. So because it was built to order, and because we had so many different variations of the seats, we didn't want to proceed with manufacturing without a sign-off from the customer. Because if we built the wrong radius, chances are we'll never use that seat again. With 1,300 different variations, it was probably just going to be scrapped. And then again, with increased lead time. So, when I say I'm proud of our turnaround time of 6 to 8 weeks, I can do 6 to 8 weeks as long as I know what we're building. So when we're going back and forth with the client on the order, that 6 to 8 weeks became smaller and smaller with several changes. And, our lead times on this product alone went up to at least 12 weeks. And the other challenge we had initially was, this was a new product that we were showing to everybody, and it did fit the bill for 90% of the specifications, but the other 10% it did not. And we had to kind of modify a lot of our Ogden products from the get-go to actually make them match up properly to what they required on site. So that's what brought me back to John. I recall that conversation or sales call that we had at Maglin, and I wasn't familiar with CPQ at all. So he explained it a little bit to me and how it worked. And sure enough, I told John what I was looking for, and then he introduced me to the online conveyor system that you can see on the bottom left there. And I was like, geez, that basically just matches up with exactly what we're looking for Ogden. So basically, I worked with John on the whole pricing for the software, which was pretty easy to do. We came up with a training plan. So I took a couple of our main key people at Maglin in engineering, and we did some on-site training. And then we did some training in-house with John's support team. And we undertook this project. It was a lot of work. There were so many different variations that you put together with the different seat configurations and all the different materials that we wanted. But we came up with a really good plan, and we worked our way through it. It took a lot of time in terms of figuring out the resources in terms of people required and the hardware required, but John also helped out with the support in terms of trying to get some money through funding and just supporting us through the whole way. And it was probably, we took on the biggest project, I think, right from the start with this one. So what we came up with was something like this, and the whole idea initially was we were just going to give it to our sales team. So we were basically handing off all this work that our designers were doing and giving it back to the product coordinators that sit in-house and work on the phone with all our clients. So basically, they would just pick a shape that they wanted to start with. Then you start with your seat sections. You build them up one by one. So straight sections, curved sections. We added backs to it as well. And then you go into the different mounts that we talked about. So you have square legs, we have pedestal legs like the original Ogden system, wall mounts. And then the seating materials, which we've added more as we've gone along. So we have plastic, so it's recycled plastic. We have paper composite, and then we have wood as well, Ipe and thermal ash. And then the accessories, so different arms that you can add and skate deterrents as well. So what this would do would obviously it would put the pricing together for the salesperson, so they didn't have to actually go through and pick out all of these different parts to make up this assembly. And then they would put their request through for a layout, and they would get, you know, an email saying that the software was working on their estimate and also their drawings. About 20 minutes later, they would get this email, which would have the quote attached, and then also the approval drawing for the customer. Because we were working with landscape architects, we also, if it was a project in the initial stage, you'd also want a CAD drawing as well, so we provide that. So this basically took all of that legwork away from the design team entirely. So there was a lot of benefits that came out of this. Some that we knew were going to happen, but there were some benefits that we really didn't expect until we got into this program. So number one, obviously, our design people were back to focusing on new products. In this industry, you need to be developing new products all the time and come out with new products at all these trade shows for the landscape architects. So we took our 2 or 3 people that were working on these layouts day after day, and we handed that back to the sales team. Lead time, again, so back to the regular 6 to 8 weeks. So basically the order would come in, there was no questions about what it was. We had an approval drawing signed, we were ready to go straight to production. So that timeline was just the time for us to actually manufacture and assemble and ship the product. And then one of the things that I didn't really realize that was happening until later was we had a reduction in inventory. So this was such a popular product that within a year or so, it represented about 20% of our sales. So what was happening was, and our company grew about 3 times over the period of 6 years. And I was trying to get more and more warehouse space and manufacturing space as we grew. So every year I'd have to come up with a plan for our budget and try to figure out, okay, how much more space am I going to need this year? Well, when we started doing this, what I realized was our space requirements started to level off. Even though the sales were still growing, these space requirements were leveling off because basically we're pulling these materials in and they were constantly in WIP, so they never really sat in the shelves. The other thing that was excellent about this product was it was a real winner for us in terms of margins. So this product is designed for a site assembly, so I did reduce a lot of the assembly work here in the factory. And the other thing is, like, we have the standard shipping program, so you can see our boxes there. They're basically developed so we can work with most of our 6-foot benches. So generally we can put about 2 benches in each box. But when we came up with this system, we can now stack about 8 seats into each box and then put like the legs and other accessories into a second box. So basically we could ship about, 3 times the number of benches in one container. The other thing that came eventually was the Embrace sales and marketing team. They initially, I think they kind of felt at first we were kind of pushing off the work onto them and getting them to do all the details and the back and forth with the client. But after a while, they realized, geez, you know, this is something that the architects really enjoy working with. And that's when we started promoting it to the architects online. So they started working with us in terms of the development of the interface, advertising on our website, working with us on the costs for extra licenses, et cetera, et cetera. And this year it really showed because, you know, obviously we're doing everything virtually now. Our sales team, like I said, we have reps all over North America. They would typically be out day after day visiting sales or visiting architects' offices and talking about new product. Well, now they're working virtually through these Zoom meetings and showing them the online configurator and getting new people signed up and displaying our latest products online. And the other thing that it gave us is a new approach to product development. So, you know, I'll talk about, you know, for example, Ogden, we offered so many different radiuses. We did have another bench product before that basically was limited because we only wanted to offer, you know, 2 or 3 different radiuses. So you start thinking about how you're doing or going about your manufacturing. We have another product that's coming up where we're basically setting benches together, segments at different angles and platforms, et cetera. And we realized, you know, why be limited like our competitors on 2 or 3 different angles when we can offer any angle? And it's really just about our approach and how we take that arrangement and take it into manufacturing. And then other products that we've worked on since, as you can see, like our products have really developed from just the standard benches. So now we're coming up with platform systems. This is Pixel. So this is one of the new products that we started working on as well. Online, we do basically a grid system so you can put it all together. You can just imagine how difficult it would be for a product coordinator to try to work with somebody over the phone and develop a system like this. I personally think it'd be impossible. So without, you know, software like this, I don't see this product being offered by Maglin. Again, you know, the layouts, approval drawings, and, you know, because we've used the configurator, you know, a lot of our new products are going this route as well. So Flex Collection, it's the first time we've come up with a fence gate system. Again, all configured online, and yeah, it's quite amazing. So we're doing a lot of new product development just with the product configure in mind. The other couple of things I probably mentioned too is we've also been developing, you know, a lot of internal procedures in terms of for shipping and packaging. You know, our salespeople have to go and get quotes, and when you come up with a system that is very detailed, like Pixel, for example, it's really hard for them to figure out like how many boxes are required for shipping a system or arrangement like this. So our configurator actually, you know, calculates how many boxes are required. And it's worked so well that we're actually taking our whole line of products now and making that so the salespeople can just, you know, punch in all our model numbers and the quantities, and it will come up with a quantity of boxes. And then we have a freight provider now that actually works with us, and we connect with their system. We just put it in the postal code, and it actually returns a freight quote to us. So, you know, again, going back and forth with customers and making changes to quantities and everything else, you know, a lot of times it would be difficult for the sales reps to wait, you know, a couple days for another freight quote. Now we can get it instantly online. We're actually taking all that into the plant as well, and that information can be used to, you know, confirm that we work with the same number of pallets, what the customer was expecting, and then we match up our freight costs in the end, and we don't go over. So that was basically it.
Okay, well, listen, Aaron, that is an amazing story. I think we hear that a lot of times with other customers, but some of the things that you brought up were actually new to us in terms of benefits, and we're so glad that the investment has paid off for you. Again, I want to thank you very much for your time and for sharing these kind words and for sharing the story. And we hope that this has been a meaningful presentation for the people that are on this presentation. And feel free to join us in our booth to answer questions about your product. And thanks again very much for your time.
Thanks, John.